Wind rushes past your face as the sea of black sand spreads out before you. The translucent bubbles of colony dome cities dot the landscape. You're rejoining the earth your people left behind. You just wish this time wasn't so dire. Your island is sinking. Can you save it?
What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here with Gorby.
Hello.
And we're back, creating a little bit of content for you today. So, Dust to Dust is officially launched on Kickstarter. I mentioned it in the video prior to this. If you haven't checked that out yet, go give it a look. It's got the entire Kickstarter trailer on there, Spencer's new game that he just launched a few days ago, and it is incredible. Today we have a first look at the actual box set, what you guys will actually be receiving when they ship it out to you with the Kickstarter launch sometime in November, for those of you who are backing the work. So we're gonna...
I am so pumped for this. If you guys have seen the Kickstarter, if you've even checked it out, I mean, the art, the promotional trailers, everything is just absolutely gorgeous. The artist Spencer's been working with, Bonnie John, has just knocked it out of the park. It is next level good.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to actually put my eyeballs on the physical product for this. It's going to be so great.
Yeah, and I mean, like Gordy said, shout out to Spencer's production team too. I believe his name's Will Pebara. Don't quote me on that. I'll link him below if he's got a link. But his whole team that he's had working on this for the past 2 years, I mean, like he said, they've done a phenomenal job with it, and we're excited to bring it to you today and show you at least what our first reactions are to at least opening it, looking at the cards, and just in general giving you some reactions to it. So we'll get right to that. And we're back with the package that Spencer has sent us containing the first copy of Dust to Dust. So, yeah, I received this back on a Monday. We're recording this on a Thursday, and it's still sealed. Gorby can show you.
Totally unopened. I mean, we removed the shipping label because we don't want you to know where Carl lives.
Spencer too.
Or Spencer for that matter. But, sealed, ready to go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let Gorby do the honors.
What a privilege.
Hand him the scissors, and we're gonna cut into this thing and see what we've got inside for you.
What an absolute privilege this is.
Yeah, and thank you again to Spencer and his production team for letting us create some early content for the game. But
oh my God.
Oh, she's pretty.
I love it so much.
So, to give you guys a bit of a history while Gorby gets this out of the package, we played this tabletop with Spencer back in 2019, February, at my engagement party. We sat at the tabletop and we played. All the cards had like penciled in writing, and yeah, that's how we first experienced the game. And to see it come to this now, like an actual product, yeah, it's incredible. So,
God, look, you got the little credits on there.
Yeah.
Created and designed by Spencer Swan. Oh,
love it.
Look at him go.
We're gonna get up close and personal with it. So, let's see what we got
Created
here.
and designed by Spencer Swan. Oh, focus.
Yeah, it's a little blurry. But that's on brand, so we're fine.
Yeah. Art and illustration by Bonnie John. Creative direction by Will Pay.
Yeah.
And we'll have links to all their social media and everything.
Yeah, but look at this. It's literally an official board game,
It's so...
Players 2 to 4, ages 13 plus, playtime 36 minutes. Just like if you were buying this off the shelf at, your local... And I'm screwing this up terribly, but I'm going to put it back now.
There you go.
But yeah, just like if you were literally buying this off the shelf at your local, card shop or retailer or whoever. So, Dust to Dust, the deck building and disintegration game. Excuse me.
We got that.
All right. So, would you like to do us the honors, sir, and take us into our first dive, if you will?
I took it out of the packaging.
Okay.
I think you should unveil it for the people.
All right. We'll do that then. All right. Here we go. And And the top is off.
Ooh.
We've got cards and packaging paper. All right.
I'll get rid of this packing paper. Goodbye.
So
got
definitely
all of our
looks
cards
like
here.
definitely looks like we threw everything into a box. So speaking with Spencer, this is definitely a first run. Like this is something that he cut by hand
Yeah.
to get out to us so that we have something physical to actually show you guys. And I guess I should have shown you the inside of the box. You saw Gorby pull out the cards there, but there's a rule book in here, and it looks like we've got some mats as well.
So this is definitely not like the final packaging by any stretch. This is, again, something Spencer put together for us to actually be able to display the game and actually record gameplay and do something like that.
Yeah. So.
We spoke with him a little bit earlier. The packaging is not going to be like hand glued together like this stuff is.
Right. Like
the corners are actually going to line up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like...
It's going to be much more clean, much more final, much more polished.
So, I think, because this was Spencer's original test set that he sent us, and like I said, for our first reactions, this is great. You know, we want to talk about the cards, talk about kind of what we're seeing, and I think the art's going to be one of the big takeaways here, because even looking at the tops of some of these cards right now, they look gorgeous.
Like,
so.
This is a test print, and these are some of the most beautiful cards I think I've put my eyes on. Like, this is... It's absurd. I don't know where Spencer found Bonnie John. I think he was a mutual friend with Will.
Yeah.
But this dude is... keep an eye on him. He's going places.
So let's get into the rule book really quick, because that's like the initial piece. So every set's going to come with a rule book, which basically just explains, you know, you got your index. It goes over the lore of the game, basic card anatomy, the different components of the game, setup, kind of how you want to set your boards up, what the mats are kind of being used for, and we'll show those off here in a minute. All the different types of cards, the different, what do you call it, symbols?
Yeah, different keywords, different symbols, that sort of thing. They're going to, you know, sort of affect how you play the game. The coolest part, you know, it'll explain actions and things like that. I kind of want to cut to the end. I want to show you guys something neat. This is something we didn't even consider.
Oh yeah, you can draft with this stuff too.
Yeah.
So we'll get into a little bit of that here in the coming weeks. But yeah, I think this is what you wanted to talk about. Yeah.
So these are like pre-built sets that Spencer and his team have included for you guys to sort of start the game out on your own. Because, well, they did the math. It's what, something like 3 million?
Like 3.6 million different combinations you can do between the 30 unique ally cards and the 10, well, not even considering the 10 relics. That's just 3.6 million different combinations between the 30 allies that you can start the game with.
And that's daunting, you know, especially for people who maybe have never played a deck building game before. You don't know if maybe you're supposed to play all Biofauna or all Machina or all Colony, which you certainly can. Like, that's totally... a fine way to do it, but you're going to want to mix and match. You're going to want to change things up and suit things, you know, to
try
different
out
needs.
different combos, see if you can figure stuff out. Yeah.
And this is just a great place to start. I mean, it comes with what, 1, 2, 3.
I think there's 10.
That's 7.
9.
9 total different combinations of the 3 point some odd million. But they all look really good too. I mean, just knowing, because obviously Carl and I have a bit more experience with the game, having helped them test it. But I mean, just looking at the different compositions, they all look very well balanced. A great way to a great jumping off point, really.
Yeah. And they even explain them a little bit too, like just to talk to the first one. I want to go back to the basic set for a minute. Yeah, Thistledown Hawk, Deck Seeker Drone. Okay, so it's naming them is what it's doing. So in case you can't read the text, but okay, gotcha. I thought they were explaining what it was, so I got excited for a minute.
But I mean, like even this one, just the begin set.
Right
out of the box, it tells you, hey, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're still learning the game, start here.
Yep.
And then you can change it up, explore the different sets. I mean, just at a glance, I'm particularly excited by the begin set because it's already got 2 of my favorite cards in it. It's got Thistledown Hawk and Fuse Forge Blacksmith.
Nice.
So I'm here for that already. But I mean, you can see it gets more advanced. The curves get maybe a little bit higher too. With, you know, higher costed cards. I mean, we see what?
Yep.
In the Fortify set, there are already 5.
And it's a lot of shields.
5+ costed cards and a bunch of different shields and attacks. Yeah. Just so many different ways you can customize your game.
Yeah. And I think that's the exciting, incredibly, and I'm going to say the word unique. I'm going to drive that word into the ground. But yeah, it's just so many different combinations for things. So yeah, rulebook's a good place to start. So we like it. A little paper rulebook, and I'm sure obviously this will get cleaned up and it will feel more like a, like one of those vinyl, because this is definitely something that someone just folded together and threw a staple through.
Yeah,
so.
that's a high school pamphlet.
Yeah, but very nice. Look at that art. Gotta love it. All right, so let's look at some of the cards and let's see what these things look like.
So we got everything sorted out here. We got our biofauna. We have our colony.
The camera will get a little bit closer on some of these guys.
We have our machina. And we have our relics, our energy cells, and our fusion fragments. So these little guys here, you'll see behind the card, are... Well, first, take a look at that card back.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's real nice.
Are you kidding me? Look at that. Bonnie John, I love you, buddy. So these are dividers. They help keep things organized within the box, so
itself,
you know, don't have everything all mixed and matched. One thing I do kind of like them for, they just line up really neatly.
As little tabletop spots for your actual cards themselves.
Yeah. So that way, if you have somebody, you're playing with 4 people and somebody maybe can't see, where, bring it over just a little bit. Yeah. Somebody might have a hard time seeing a name. You can see it from different angles, see what different costs are, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Just
helps keep the tabletop a little bit more organized, too.
Love it.
So, multifunction.
Yeah. Oh, very cool.
One thing to note, this is a test print. Like we said, Spencer kind of went to like his neighborhood print shop. They spat out a bunch of pieces essentially, and then Spencer like punched them out and cut them.
Spitting out babies. But yeah, these are definitely, they feel like bicycle cards right now.
This is like the cards you'll buy from like Walgreens. This is not the final product.
Right.
The final product is going to be something more akin to like Magic the Gathering, your standard sort of trading card. Yeah. It's going to feel fortified, hardy, healthy in your hand, and great in a sleeve.
Yeah,
which we'll try throwing these guys in a sleeve real quick, see what they look like. These are Ultimate Guard katanas. My sleeve of choice these days. I switched to purple recently. I'm usually a white sleeve kind of guy. But the purples just feel like they riffle better.
It's doing it for you.
Yeah. So we'll try sliding in an energy cell here.
She thick.
It's a little bit tight. But honestly, tight's kind of what you want in a sleeve sometimes.
Yeah. And maybe for a test print, not that we necessarily want to sleeve 150 plus cards, but...
Right. I mean, it looks pretty good in a sleeve. Not bad. Like I said, it's a little bit tight, but that means there's not going to be a whole lot of movement.
Yeah.
Within the sleeve, you're not going to risk, wearing out the edges or anything like that. So definitely a good thing for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely our set to beat up, though, over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Oh, we're going to beat the hell out of this thing.
But, I mean, just to speak to it again, just the art on this, final touch, like, they're so pretty. Like, all of these cards are just absolutely gorgeous. And I know Spencer, in the Kickstarter, he mentions potential on stretch goals. And one thing he wants to try to do is holographics, and seeing like hollows and stuff like this, like, could be so neat if we ever get there. But I could
even without it, I feel like
talking about it.
It's fine. Because
the cards are beautiful, but to put like a gloss on them, because I think in the Kickstarter it even shows like what it would look like image overlay of like a hollow. So it was neat.
And guys, the PNGs on the Kickstarter campaign do not do this justice. I mean, even as a test print, I can't speak to just how clean. I think that's what catches me most. I mean, the art is fantastic, but think of your typical trading card, right? It's going to have a little border around the side and keep everything nice and contained and in a box. Again, the purpose of that, make it easy to read, identify different parts of the card. But this is just a testament to that. You don't need that. You don't need a border. You don't need to keep everything boxed up, contained. Just as a diligently crafted form factor for a card, careful printing with gorgeous artwork, you can get something like this.
Yeah.
Take that, Magic the Gathering.
And that being said, we don't want to discount it at all. I'm sure the effort that went into this was, tenfold. But it's so pretty from such a simplistic standpoint. It's so pretty. So let's look at these mats.
Yeah. So this is something that I was actually really excited about when Spencer was talking to me about it, because it was something I kind of had in the back of my head, but don't want to throw a bunch of ideas at a person and make things complicated for them, because he's already got enough on his plate just making the game. But when he told me they were doing mats, I was ecstatic. So I'm really excited to see what they come out with. Okay.
All right. A little bendy, but I think that's just from packaging.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep them rolled up. You don't want to fold up vinyl, because then you get big old ugly creases in it. And this will, fall out on its own. But I mean, just at a first glance, gotta love the branding. Dust to dust. It's a little hard to see on camera. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, no, it's there. You can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
We did speak to Spencer again about these. Not finalized. Things are going to look, I think his words were, a little bit more screen printed.
Yes.
Rather than
this is like I think these are inkjet prints for the initial run, just for all the test print stuff that he created, so he could have it for testing.
So you can see the zones are like a little bit faded, which, I mean, it ties into the aesthetic of the game, obviously. But it'll be a little bit more clearly defined what everything is once the finalized prints come out.
Yeah. For sure. But they feel good. I mean, I think it's, we were having a bit of a conversation, I think, earlier, just what we wanted to, see in a mat. And I think, and if I'm not mistaken, these are vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
So, think about that from a tabletop perspective. Just, you guys, some friends, everybody drinking, having a good time. You spill something on one of these, super easy to clean.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's meant to take a beating. I'm not going to try to rip it in half right now, but
I'm giving it just about all I got, and it is not like
some fun with Ultra Pro if you remember those videos. Yeah, I'm not going to rip it in half, but it's I think they're meant to get beat up, is what it feels like. So
it's a, what were his words? It's a competitive game for casual people.
Yeah.
Obviously, as trading card players, we're used to the rubberized bottom with the cloth mat, but how often are you going to be doing this at your local game store?
Right.
This is something you do with your friends on a Friday night, having a good time.
Right. These aren't mats you're going to keep in a tube and you keep them pristine and wipe them with like this beautiful Spellground that's down here. Not that we don't want to mention the fact that we're showing you. Casing everything on this right now, but at the end of the day, this is something that you can beat this up a little bit more than you would want to with this. Take this out to your local game night, have a good time, and not really worry about it getting beat up, more or less.
So, the mat itself, or rather the zones on the mat, this is sort of the central mat that's going to be in between all the 4 players. You can see sort of at the top here we've got our relic zones. It's split into 2 piles. The rulebook goes into setting the game up and everything like that, so we won't beat you over the head with it. But you get your relic zones, and then your fusion fragments, energy cells, and allies. So this mat is the dust. When you dust cards for your turn, this is where you send them. So keep everything nice and organized. Right. Everyone has access to everything they need when they want it.
I think the cool thing, and I'm going to mention this here because it's just occurred to me, but the lore of this game speaks to the gameplay and vice versa. The idea that you're pulling things from the dust, you're recovering your lost cities and things like that from the dust, and you're also sending things back to the dust because things are getting dusted, and that's the idea of the world that you live in here. This being a dust playmat where the game centralizes around is just, it's fascinating. Did such a good job in branding this.
It speaks to how much thought Spencer and his team really put into making this game comprehensive. Yeah, it's just next level.
Yeah,
next level.
So let's take a look at our actual player playmats now.
Okay, these are upside down, so we will correct those.
So
right here.
Something to mention with these is that these are Kickstarter exclusive. So every set normally, like if you were just going to, I believe, and Spencer will hopefully correct us when we get into things more, but I believe you're just standard edition, what you're buying when you buy just a standard set. Like if you were going to go to your local retailer and buy it, you get the mat, you get the cards, the dividers, the rulebook. I think that's what comes with it.
Yeah.
Now these mats are Kickstarter exclusive, so for those of you willing to go and back this project, which you should definitely go do, that link is down below. But these mats are what you're getting for backing it at the slightly higher tiers above the basic tier.
Yep. Again, just a nice vinyl mat.
Yeah.
Really thoughtful consideration. You can see the zones are a little bit harder to see. Like we said, this is just an inkjet printing. The vinyl ones will be sort of screen printed on, so they're more defined.
Yeah.
But as a player, you have 6 zones that you're responsible for managing. You've got your relics, your allies, your deck, your shield, your energy cells, and your discard. And again, a really nice consideration from Spencer and his team with these 2 zones in particular, your energy cells and your allies. Because this is where the gameplay really happens, right?
Yeah.
You got your deck here, your discard, to keep them nice and separate so you know what's what.
God, this tabletop simulator did not do well for us.
No, it did not. Despite Spencer's best efforts, we still managed to screw it up plenty.
Yeah.
But keeping everything nice and separate because you're going to be riffling back through your deck very frequently.
Yeah, this is.
And again, this is where the bulk of the gameplay happens. You're going to be spending your energy cells, putting them down here for the start of your turn. Your allies taking your actions, doing things like that. Keeping everything nice, organized. You can have a nice progression across the mat.
And I think that again speaks to it, because again, this channel's always been primarily trading card games, like games that we're investing our own money into. We're playing games, with our own cards. This is very much, you buy the set, you have the set. Every card, you own them all. You know what they all do, you figure it out, you go from there. So stuff like this where this game's so interactive with the other players on the board, things are constantly moving back and forth between different play mats and different players. It speaks to just the overall design, because you can see it, like Gorby said with the mat, is that, you get a ton of room to do activities up here, and then things are going all over the board. So staying organized with it is priority 1, but again, you don't have to worry about finding your own cards at the end. Everything just goes back into the box. Yeah. So, it's just a really neat idea that's just occurred in my head that it's like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing here. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, I think that basically wraps us up. That's everything. The mats, the cards. Yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Do you want to show off some of the cards on the mat, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe put down a little mock wings here.
Let's get some
relics.
Our boy, the mountaintop tortoise. Your
you
boy.
You got to put him in the shields.
Oh yeah, he goes in the shields. All right, good call. Yeah. Good call. Got the Petal Wing Strider. I think I like that card a lot.
Oh yeah.
You guys, for those of you who back it at some of the higher tiers, Spencer is doing art prints that he will send you of specific cards, and you can pick your own card. I think Petal Wing Strider might be a top contender for me.
Energy cells down here.
Where are fusion fragments? Fusion fragments.
Those are down here at the bottom.
Yes. Grab a few of those.
Put them in your discard.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got your deck over here. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Love it. All right. So yeah, that's first take on this game. It looks gorgeous. The art's phenomenal. Can't say enough good things about just how pretty these cards are, how pretty the art on these mats are. But yeah, to that note, we will be creating quite a bit of content for you over the course of the next couple of weeks. I'm going to get into it with Gorby here in a little bit, and we're going to record some faction videos, basically talking about the 3 different factions, the 10 unique cards that come in each one of those, and then the relics, fusion fragments, energy cells. I think you said 42 unique cards.
Yeah.
So just to explain what each of the different cards do, and we'll obviously have links for all of that, and then while we go through some of the more battle series-esque type card play, we'll have links for all of those cards that we're playing as we play them as well, so you guys can reference them and kind of know what we're talking about as we talk about it. I think the neat thing about this game, and what I'm looking forward to most about creating some content for it, is that unlike a competitive TCG, you know, let's circle back to Kaijudo, there were thousands of cards where maybe 100 to 200 of them were relevant. And if you didn't know what a card did, you had to Google search the name, find the card. You know, there wasn't just a stock place until Corey made his website. But to that note, you know, there's only 30 unique cards in terms of just the cards you're going to be picking from and creating your decks with, and then the relics. So once you know what all of those cards do, you guys know the game. It's like chess. Once you know what all the pieces do, you know how to play. Mastery is what follows after that. So, you know, that's what I'm excited to get into. Final thoughts?
I mean, the thing I'm honestly looking forward to most, and I want to shout this out one more time. You know, in the back of the rule book, Spencer and his team took the time to actually create sort of like pre-built sets that you can use to sort of familiarize yourself with the game and, you know, learn how to pace you know, things out.
Yeah.
But this game is infinitely customizable. I mean, during our playtesting sessions, we would just grab essentially 10 stacks of cards at random and just throw it onto the board and see what we could do with it.
Right.
It was just...
The
possibilities are just...
I think, and excuse me if I get the number wrong, but it's because you can play 30 different unique cards. Not counting the relics, there's over 3 million different combinations of 10 card sets that you can play with.
Yep.
Which is wild, you know, when you think about it in terms of that. You know, it's a different game every time you play it if you change 1 or 2 cards out.
Yep.
So, you know, that's exciting.
Yeah, because I mean, you talk about mastery, that's where it comes in.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just knowing what the cards do, it's knowing how to customize the game state itself so all the players can create cool combos and, you know, really just play a satisfying deck building game.
Yeah.
And I've played a handful of different deck building games, and I got to tell you, man, this one is like, it's up there. It is primo.
So yeah, stay tuned for some content, guys, and we'll be playing this game quite a bit over the course of the next couple of weeks. Excited to see you guys next time.
Hell yeah.
Till then.
Bye, guys.